And going again. Like I said in part 1 of this video, first 6 minutes, we're in power cuts today. And we thought we'd risk it with the knowledge that, hey,
Well,
it's unlikely it's going to happen quickly. And it
I think
may.
what happened was we both, or you at least, got infected by the Iconian computer virus from watching the episode. That's what I think happened.
There is some distinct logic to that as well. I mean, what are the chances that there are death power cuts? Although, if we scheduled a live, did the live, our back live, is this still the same scheduled live? Is it going to stand the same thing? Do we even know that we're live?
It's restarting. It says you're alive. The internet can now totally see you.
Okay. But can they find the video?
Hello again. Welcome back, Life. Yes, they're all here still.
How do you find the video? It's not on the. Oh,
it says stream resumed.
Is that gonna? Oh, I have to. Yeah, okay. I have to keep. Okay, I have to keep finding alternate ways. So you can't just find it. But I didn't share it yet, so I mean, just people won't be able to find it for a little while. But that's okay. We did our best. We're doing our best. Greetings once again. So Stuart,
Yes.
I'll go actually share the video around. Hopefully people will join us back again and talk to the people and read the super chat if you can from that we got just before it all died. Cause I did see it. See it.
Yes, we got a super chat from Judge 1981. It said gag missing staff meetings, and we also got one from Jeff who said we hit 50. So there you go. There's the 2 super chats. They're no longer showing up in my thing though, because I had to refresh. So hello guys. Sorry about the video output. It does say it's low right now. But at least it's back up and running. Yes, Brian, we're working on it. You know, we might have to cancel this one and just do it some other time, especially if the power goes out again. I don't know if it'd be worth continuing and continuing and continuing. So, and there we go. Looks like it's back up to better quality now. So hopefully that's good. Guys, if you can, please feel free to super chat. It's a great way to help our channel from not falling apart at the seams like it is right now, because we have to pay the power bills. We got to do things like that, and if we don't pay the power bills, that's what happens. So I mean, if you can help us out with super chats, please do so. Also, don't forget our Patreon link is in the description below. That helps us on a monthly basis, and we're going to be, as we said, upgrading the Patreon to having new tiers and new perks and stuff. So if you can check back, please do. And yeah,
we're just waiting for Tim to get back on holiday to actually the rest of the Patreon updates. Then we'll share the shit out of it.
The shite?
Because I've got the graphics. I've got my side of the graphics waiting for Mr. Tim. Mr. Tim. But he's on his birthday break, so that's fair enough.
Oh yeah, it's very fair. Yeah.
So Stuart, what did you think of the Contagion TNG episode? Short review, thoughts, and you said wasn't very memorable the first, when you have seen it previously. What do you think then revisiting it now for our reviews?
I thought it was great. I did remember this one. I just didn't remember it as this episode or this name or this early. I didn't know it was in season 2.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. It felt very Star Trek, probably the best of season 2 so far, as far as non-critical issues like Measure of a Man was, just kind of being a Star Trek episode. So, well written, fun episode. There's actually 1 or 2 funny moments in it as well. And we get to see another Galaxy class, so some ships and a Romulan, warbird, and a whole bunch of cool stuff in this one. So this one is a great episode in my opinion. So there you go. That's my quick summary.
Yeah, this one, like I said, the first part of this video, part 1. This one's always stuck to me because there's so many like world building things, and seeing the sister ship is quite cool, and the Iconians and such. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of fun little character moments that show that the writers know who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
Like Riker is on point in this one, and Geordi puts a lot through. And really, everyone gets. Troy, I think, gets the most least, but she shows the gleams of what she can do in the episode. They're just, I've almost forgotten she's in the season, like how little she's in it currently, which is weird. But this episode, it's kind of almost how I write scripts, which is, or Star Trek scripts anyway. I like to go into the, not necessarily minutia, but into the thought process behind problems. I like seeing the crew actually solve a problem with their training in the correct way, not just a either technobabble reason, or they ignore it, or there's nothing happens. While this is kind of very just like step 1, step 2, step 3, and nothing really escalates to the point of epicness. It's a really great representation of how the ship works, the chain of command, who does what. There's a lot of little twists and turns because it's sort of like micro telling the story, you know. There's a lot of like next. It's like, oh, okay, cool. It's not like exciting, but I like the world building so much that is why it kind of resonates more with me. But it kind of could have done with, you know, a follow up. They imply Iconians could, should, would have escaped. I mean, that needed a follow up, didn't it?
Yeah, it did for sure. Especially with the planet being so close to the Romulan side of the neutral zone, it would have made a great later episode for sure. But yeah, so let's.
And guys, do super check your thoughts, comments, all those things. Like I say, rely on them to survive and support and literally survive. You've got to pay rent with them. It's kind of like.
And the power bill. Otherwise, what happened just before will happen again.
BSG. What happened before will happen again.
So.
It's the wrong episode with the screen caps because the power cut killed the save file. God damn it. And it defaults. God damn it. Same almost looking planet though. But take us through it, Stuart, while I for fourth effing time instead of 3 power cuts before this. So
they are on their way to see Captain Donald Varley of the USS Yamato. They've been contacted by them, and they're having issues. So they're going into the neutral zone. Yamato's been having some very dangerous malfunctions, and then they're hoping that with both crews working together, maybe they can eliminate the problems before the Romulans can detect them. So, yeah.
And Judge 1981 says the neutral zone is more like a guide. Your thoughts?
More like a guide? What do you mean, a guide?
As in not like a distinct, you must not enter, you know, more like a suggestion than a rule. Thoughts?
It's a buffer zone. It's a safe zone. So, yes, just in case. You don't, because if you literally just have a border, then you cross into Romulan space. The neutral zone gives you that. Oh, well, we drifted in here, or there's something that happened, so we're not actually entering your territory. We're getting close. But that's why it's a neutral zone, because you each have a little bit of leeway as far as going into it. You shouldn't go into it, but it's there just in case. So, yeah, I'd say it's more of a guide. It's a buffer. It's a buffer between both empires.
But the thing is, my context, especially from this one, is that, you know, the Romans are instantly on the Enterprise just for going the neutral zone, which they themselves had to go into the neutral zone to call them out for being in the neutral zone. So they, you know, to face the threat, you have to yourselves break the neutral zone, which implies that no one should ever be in the neutral zone. Is the implied? It's not like it was pop in 5 minutes because everyone's watching the neutral zone and they react.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels more like a distinct the no man's land. But obviously.
It gives you that buffer in case somebody's trying to get into your territory. You can detect them ahead of time, go intercept them, and not necessarily start a conflict by saying entering our territory was an act of war.
But it's an instant reaction. Like they just don't go over that. Although can you imagine being a spacefaring race that lives inside the neutral zone, who has warp? It's like, I mean, hey, my signature's neither Federation nor Romulan. I've not got a pact with either of you. I can travel. Doesn't matter. Don't come after me, guys.
Yeah. Well, I think they try to make it so that I don't know. They got to agree on the border, I guess, but yeah. Anyway, so they're downloading the Yamato's logs.
Pretty standard stuff, you know, obvious, yeah.
And Riker says something to Data, which is odd. He says, have you determined what our little hiccup was, sir? Our odd reading. No, sir. It might be related to the Yamato's problems. Never mentioned again. I don't know what it was. But anyway.
We do.
What is it?
It's the cloaked Romulan ship.
Oh. There's no mention of that though.
Yeah, weird sensor readings they're detecting. They can't. Well, we know the Roman ship's right there because they're at the Yamato. We know this ship is a few seconds away from the Yamato, and you can detect if they can detect the Yamato. I'm sure it's just a weird energy signature they can't detect. Yeah, that's why I took it. Otherwise, you're right. It's never in it, but I mean, it links the Romans just fine. So
I never once got that indication that was what they were talking about because it's never expanded on at all.
Well, there you go.
It doesn't say weird sensor thing. It just says a hiccup or an odd reading.
Yeah, so. an odd reading. I mean, there you go. Plus,
yeah, but they don't say sensor reading or sensor scan. It's reading could be anything that the computer's displaying. It could be a weird number that came up instead of, whatever that you were expecting.
Well, I mean, either way, they've got the logs now, so that could just be a very, very minute. Look, the ship is starting to go haywire. So I mean, it could be either. I mean, they have the logs. So does the Romulan ship. That's why you could argue that the cloak of the Romulan ship is acting on bits. So they can detect something because everyone's infected right now.
I don't know how the Romulan ship got infected yet.
Well, we do. They do. They said they intercepted the logs, but they sent the logs via subspace because they already had the logs before they got to the Yamato, and they just were nearby watching them because they knew they were in Romulan space, neutral zone. Yeah, Romulans are here literally from the start of this scene. They've then always following the Enterprise, which you might as well if you're a cloaking device.
Well, the next thing is we're the only other ship in the area is the Yamato. I make a point of saying that. And then I love how Picard is not a grumpy old man. He makes a joke out of things, something like I would do. What's a nice Starfleet captain like you doing in a place like this? And the other guy's like, well, despite your humor at the moment, we've got issues. Malfunctions are becoming serious. We've lost an engineering team. A computer shut down a force field in an open shuttle bay, resulting in 18 people dead. And then we find out it's affecting every system simultaneously. Like the ship just decided to fall apart. And goes on to say, we should have run these Galaxy class ships across a few more design boards before building one. What do you think it could possibly be a design flaw? So, I mean, how many of the Galaxy class ships are there at this point? Like 3 or 4?
Yeah.
There's not very many.
I would have said max 6.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd have to go back to our episode. You might be right. But yeah. Anyway,
I mean, you can sense this guy probably doesn't trust technology as much as Picard does. So whereas Picard sees what's going on, crew deal with it. He sees it as, I thought it would be a good assignment. God damn it! Like I think it's just the perspective difference.
Yeah.
But didn't you like how they actually did alter the bridge in his perspective? They actually repainted that little bit of the. Well, that might be like the season 1 version or something, because I know they swapped helms, or they used different pieces. But at least they changed it to look a little bit different. That was kind of a nice touch. Maybe a little different set. So they didn't have to. But the fact they did is like, especially when in like TNG, they've now scrapped the Enterprise D bridge, so you don't see the D bridge, you see a shitty non-D bridge for their galaxy. It's like, there you go. Just build this bit.
Yeah. But anyway, we find out that he mentions, I heard a few rumors about Iconians. Their homeworld was actually in the neutral zone. Now, it surprises me he didn't contact Starfleet Command before deciding to do this, personally. But he decides to go in. He says, we can't let the Romulans find it. It was virtually a dead planet, but enough technology remained to give the Romulans an edge should they find it. And then, all of a sudden, we get an alarm. There's an energy buildup in the engineering section of the Yamato. And it goes kaboomy.
Yeah, but only partially kaboomy because the entire saucer is intact.
Yeah, and then vaporizes.
Yes. It's cool, but it's a little bit nonsensical.
Yeah, it is.
There's quite a few weird explosion-y things in this season. But it's quite a cool intro. It's a very slow intro, very sort of step by step, but it builds the okay, quite well. Any thoughts?
I love how the first thing Data says is no life readings. It's like, okay, well, thanks. Is there any of the ship left? Any escape pods? Anything? Maybe, I don't know.
We also had like 1 second to do anything.
Yeah, I know.
But it's very clinical. They're like, oh, they're all dead.
Well, they even asked the captain too. Do you want some of your non-essential personnel brought over, like the families and stuff, to make sure they're safe?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think that's necessary at this point. And then it's pretty much right after that happens. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really screwed the families in this one, like
yeah.
to the top degree. I mean, what do you think of this intro? Like, were you intrigued? Do you like it?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Seeing another Galaxy class ship and all the problems that it's having, and all of a sudden, boom, and it's like, yeah, then it's credit time.
Titles.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Credits are at the end. A couple of thoughts on
Opening
this.
credit. Opening titles. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
shut up.
it's not credits. A couple of thoughts on this. Oh yeah, it was odd to me that they're traveling at warp at the start, and they say we're 4 minutes away, but we're in visual range.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but you're in a subspace dimension bubble. There is no, and then they instantly they don't de-warp. It's a weird like disconnect between the VFX department and the not, because it just sounds a bit dumb. It's like, just wait 3 minutes and then communicate. There's just no visual range like that. It doesn't work like that. Oh yeah, and the non-essential personnel. I thought, oh yeah, non-essential personnel. I mean, surely the kids are the most non-essential personnel. You don't need the kids on board at any point. Like, that he felt so. This guy has a nice command presence, but very little like interpersonal skill vibe. This captain, like, he feels even worse than Picard. Like, he would not. He didn't want kids. He was demanded by admirals there are kids on board, and they're on deck 13, away for as far away from him as possible. He keeps them down there making socks all year round. No, but yeah, it was such a weird scene. It's like, if the whole ship's going kablooey, as in, like, if oxygen goes off on a deck and you can't escape, they're gonna get killed. Of course, you beam the kids on. That would have been kind of nice. They lower the shields, beam some families over, and then it blows up. That would have been more impactful, I think.
Yeah.
So that was kind of heartless of the writers, I think. I love the archaeological dig stuff. That was really cool. And I appreciate that the magnetic containments disintegrate, basically. So it's not a warp core explosion per se, and they do dump some of the antimatter we learn later. Because how could the ship both explode but not vaporize, and it not do any, like, there's not even a Enterprise, like, there's nothing. There's like, exploded.
No,
Okay.
they get hit by a degree and actually.
Oh yeah, but not the shockwave though. It's a physical debris. Like, the explosion itself does nothing. It's debris. So I'm thinking, it's like, if only the matter antimatter explodes, it's quite minimal. You just have to kill the ship, not like a big like energy wave of kablooiness. Just some small things, like they were that close. Well, they never technically said drop us to impulse, so whatever.
But then Romulan vessel is entering visual sensor range, or entering sensor range, and it shows up, and they're like, "Did the Romulans destroy them?"
Yep.
And I love how Picard's like, "Explain your illegal presence in the neutral zone." And she's like, "Explain yours." Yeah, and then she demands they leave the neutral zone. He's like, "We will leave the neutral zone when we have determined the cause of the Yamato's destruction." Picard out. Just ends the conversation. I don't know. Nobody has jurisdiction in the neutral zone, so it's just
it's a power play. They're just using, whoever's the biggest balls wins.
Yeah.
But it's effective. I like the scene, and Picard is well represented in this episode, I think. He does good. And did you like the fact?
I love how he also says, "I want a staff meeting in 1 hour." It's like, why? Not just do it right now. What are you going to learn in an hour? What are you going to do for an hour?
He needs lunch.
He's got to go take a crap, I guess.
This is too much fiber at breakfast. Now this is like at 9:13 a.m. He hasn't actually had breakfast yet. And did you like how they redressed the Klingon bridge set? So that must be what it is, because they had the Bird of Prey like 5 episodes ago. They got the top grilling.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be.
The grilling gives it away, I think. Yeah.
I think they're the same. They're definitely the same. I think she's sitting in the season 1 version of the TNG chair, because they removed the flip out controls, but she's clearly sitting in some like alternate, like maybe an early version of a TNG or the battle bridge. She's in the battle bridge captain's chair. That's what I bet that is. And then that's just but it was really fun to see a bridge. Like, it's minimally designed, but it's like they actually had a bit of, it feels more scopy. It's not just a generic black background like,
Well,
I'm evil. It's like, no, there's a bridge. There's a bridge.
Thing is, every time we see a Romulan Warbird bridge, it's always different. It's like they never really decided actually on a design for them. Unless it's like the Klingon Bird of Prey, where each captain gets to customize their ship, maybe, but I don't know. It doesn't make it easy for another captain should they need to come in and take over.
I guess that's what they're trying to discourage.
Don't know where anything is.
And guys, 101 likes, 101 views.
I was gonna say
viewers, 46 likes, only 2 super chats so far. So please do like it, keep watching, and super chat. I was gonna say start watching, but you can't because you are watching.
Yes. So everybody, please hit like and make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well.
So what do you think of this Romulan commander? She does appear again, although it's sort of the same character, but maybe not. What do you think of her? Because she does come back again. Just leaving an impression.
Yeah, I like her. I like the sternness, the coldness,
coldness.
Just the no, not giving anything away kind of approach to things. She's very stone-faced, very poker-faced the whole time. I do like that in the Romulans.
And it's got a kind of a shade of the Vulcan in that it's super controlled, but there's a venom below the surface that she's gently spitting, but still in a controlled sort of way. So it's a nice, like, how do you do the... We've only seen 2 Romulans at this point, 2 different encounters. This is like a pretty big, like, they're here.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeff Jacobs puts in $2, 50 likes again. LOL. Again at 100. Hashtag make Jeff pay. Yeah, we were over 50 in the last one before we came back, eh? Because he super chatted that we had hit 50, so now we hit 50 again. So thank you guys.
Yes.
About 105 of you watching, so please hit like.
Yeah, Jeff does put money every time we get likes. I want to see 65 likes before I click back on the screen. Click like. But yeah, it's a good scene. It's a good bit of politics. You know?
But then we get the staff meeting in the conference room. And we find out, the seals, magnetic seals malfunction between the matter and antimatter containment units. The antimatter should have been ejected. The process started, so they dumped some, then it stopped, and then the seals degraded, resulting in an explosion. Could be a design flaw. And Riker's like, on a Galaxy-class ship, the most advanced piece of technology ever built, it could happen. We could have overlooked something. It's like it's kind of a weird jump in logic for them to go. We've never had a problem until now. Let's just assume we're going to blow up in 5 seconds. It's like, what? No.
Well, I mean,
don't know.
I appreciate that because like that can't happen. He's like, well, it can if enough weird things happen. But it's like, what are the chances? I guess lots because the other one blowed up. But I mean, I would put a correlation factor that why would both ships be, blowing, diminishing at the same time when they happen to be near each other. I would think it was something in the local vicinity that's affecting a ship rather than design flaw.
Yeah. Well, they haven't really noticed anything wrong with their ship yet, so it just seems very premature to be doing what they're doing.
Well, that's not true. It's true. In the last episode, Geordi had to realign the plasma thingies by 0.2% to make sure it's more efficient. I mean, that was breaking
True
the
enough.
whole time.
True enough.
But I like that. Just remember that Geordi said this is the most advanced piece of machinery ever yet. So we know USS Discovery is nowhere near advanced as Enterprise D. Because otherwise,
hope not.
The flagship's chief engineer wouldn't be that wrong. He's rather smart. So that
Yeah, but he doesn't know about Discovery because it's restricted. Fleet Pass Swiftback put in $4.99.
Oh, thank you.
That Romulan reveal, though, I thought they blew the Yamato up when I first saw this episode. Like button sufficiently smashed on my end. Thank you very much. And Jarzia throws in $5 Canadian. No matter what role Carolyn Seymour plays, she'll always be Mon Mothma to me, and she was a fantastic Romulan in Face of the Enemy. She played Mon Mothma, or is it just from Rogue One that she did that? No, or is it she was the original Mon Mothma?
I mean,
I didn't even know that.
I didn't think they looked different. I don't know if I agree with that. let me do some googling.
You do that, and I'll just finish this scene out by saying that Troy's like, well, now that we've determined that it's not the Romulans, shouldn't we withdraw the neutral zone? And Picard's like, not really, not yet, no. So.
Yeah, I do like. I kind of wish they'd leaned on the is it the Romulans a smidge more, because I don't think you assume it is, but it's possible. It
makes sense because there's always, to this point, there's been this lead up to the Romulans as being, the Romulans, worry about the Romulans. So, makes sense.
But I don't think the balance for menace is quite there. Does that make sense? Like they're not played enough for dramatic. And
she voices Mon Mothma in all Star Wars games.
Oh, that okay, yeah. Wow, yeah. She played Sub Commander Taris in Contagion, and then Commander Toroth in Face the Enemy, as well as two other parts. The annoying caretaker lady who didn't want Janeway to sleep with her master in the holodeck, who became really quite bitchy, and also that lady in TNG First Contact, which was quite memorable. Mon Mothma in the video games. That's cool. Also,
well, now we know.
Oh, actually, mostly does voiceover now. Literally, Gears of War 5, Gears of War Judgment, Mass Effect 3, Gears of War 3, Mass Effect 2, Gears of War 2, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Star Wars Empire 1, Mon Mothma. There you go. Knights of the Republic. Wow. Just basically voiceover. Cool. Wow, yeah. She played Shmi Skywalker in Episode 1 Phantom Menace, the game. So I'm just reading a IMDb page, but
yeah. Anyway, so the next scene, Picard accesses the personal and the captain's logs of the Yamato's captain, looking for any reference to the term Iconian or Romulan, and he comes up with a few. First, they find a device. He's not sure what it is. One of the archaeologists gave it to him. And he says it's like a caveman finding a tricorder, which is a nice analogy. Then we hear about a galactic Rosetta Stone, but all the star fields were unintelligible. That is until he took into account 200 millennia of stellar drift. After that, it was very easy to pinpoint the location of Iconia. And anyway, they show up. They get a probe scan. Was it an attempt at communication? We're not sure. But we can't send an away team down or scan due to systems failures. We find out the planet is at 22 or 227 Mark 359, and it's close to the Romulan side of the neutral zone.
I don't know about you, but these logs, he delivers them in weird ways. Like he has, like I said before, he has a certain commanding presence, but also has no charisma at all.
They're personal logs. They're just in his ready room, so it's not like he's being official or anything.
But it's interesting to see. We never see this perspective of what is a personal log. Are you just chatting? I mean, these are very small, very short updates. It's really fun to see from that perspective. And I really like it being told from this. I think his acting is actually rather good here, and you get a sense of his annoyance and his interest, and and I like the fact they've repainted or they've used an early version of the laptop he's using, but a different one. A little subtle detail of let's grab stuff from Picard's desk. Oh, can't do the exact same thing. Let's just do an older version of it. It's not painted yet. Small things. It's a lot of exposition, but I like it's basically he's Picard's archaeologing from the records. I kind of like that. I like it. I think you said this earlier about why would he go. I didn't answer this before. I think it's when the live died. Why would he go into the neutral zone and without telling Starfleet? I think he feels like he couldn't risk it.
Yeah, and there's a part I didn't write down too there, where they got in the neutral zone, were detected by the Romulans, and then played hide and seek through various solar systems until they lost them.
Yeah.
So the Romulans would have detected a ship, possibly a Galaxy class ship, and went after it, couldn't find it, and so, but they probably did keep it in their sight because this one was cloaked and following it. So
Yeah. Well, it's quite. I mean, to evade a cloaked ship is quite impressive, really, considering like you have several systems of scan range.
yeah,
Yeah, but it you know I like his risk. But if you think you found that, I mean, I always find it a bit easy that it's the homeworld. It's not an outpost. It's the definitive homeworld. Which I think they underserve how cool the planet looks because you would expect a bit. I know it's been bombed, but
yeah,
I always hoped it would have just been an outpost, not just the actual Iconian homeworld.
yeah. I agree.
It's a bit lacking in that way.
Yeah.
But it's
And there's still mystery. There's still mystery then if it's an outpost and we still haven't found the home world. I mean, I like that.
Would have been a nice reveal if it was not the homeworld. Like, that would have been nice. Like, that was just their furthest outpost.
Yeah. And then he goes to leave his ready room and the door doesn't open. And he's like,
"What?
Intern? Yeah. I'm coming through the door now. All right, cool."
And it's actually quite subtle. They play it like little bits for bits. Not like
yeah. So he says here we're gonna assume the Yamato's mission and risk war, sir. Perhaps. But yeah. Then so they get to the planet, they find the Iconian probe. Or they don't. They're watching the logs. They see the probe scanning the Yamato. And then they have the conversation, we're going to take on this mission, perhaps start a war, but the Iconians are real, so we have to go check it out.
I don't know about you, but I always found this probe an odd art choice.
Yeah.
It looks like a little planet model.
Yeah.
And it's got the most gimmicky, like, simple CGI lightning possible.
Yeah.
Like, it's got no personality. I mean, how do you represent an ultra advanced race? And it's better than a spinning light from TOS. I understand that, but you know what I mean. It would have been nice, and then it just looks like a little planet model. I think it's the same cloud texture. It's a weird choice for me.
Yeah, I agree. I always thought it looked like a little planet as well.
Yeah.
So, but then Wesley goes in and says, "How do you guys deal with the loss of all that life? How do you take it so easily?" And he's like, "We don't take it easily. It's just training. You'll figure that out." But we find out about a little more about the Iconians here. 3 particular planets had very similar origins. Could be that they were colonized or conquered by the Iconians. Ancient texts spoke of demons of air and darkness appearing out of nowhere. And Wesley's like, "Well, that sounds like magic." And he's like, "Well, hey, we look like magic to, again, cavemen." So they traveled with ships. So a little bit of history behind the Iconians there, not too much, but then Picard says, "What really brought you here?" And that's where he goes on to talk about all the people that are dead, and then Picard's like, Earl Grey, hot. That should not have happened. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. I think this is a nice, for Wesley, this is a good choice of scene. It helps humanize the crew a little bit. It gives us a perspective. It's not filler, but it's a good, we are traveling. Cut to interior. We have time. I like the acting, although I think the transition from Picard where he's saying to, "But why are you really here, boy?" is very he says it like it's scripted. There's no, for me it felt very unnatural, that transition point. But I feel Picard's energy with the archaeology side of it. I think Patrick does a great job. Well, if you buy that he's interested in archaeology and these rumors and history, you really buy it in his performance.
Yeah, and even the way it starts, Wesley comes in and he's doing thing on his pad or whatever, and he's like, "Can I talk to you, sir?" And he's like, "Yeah," and he takes the time, and then he actually relaxes a little bit and starts talking about the Iconians and stuff because he started off looking annoyed, and then kind of consigned himself to doing it, and then actually got into the conversation. So, sometimes you need to take your mind off of things, especially when something so serious is going on.
I mean, you have no idea what he was doing. I mean, it's weird to say, do you have any time? It's like if you're running a ship and a mission and researching, it's like, do you have 10 minutes to spare? It's like, well, it's like being phoned. It's like, whatever you're doing, stop. You've got time now. It's like, you know what I mean? And kind of that vibe. But yeah, he walks in, he goes into it well, and I think Wesley's pretty decent here. And is this the first time, because he moves to the replicator, is this the first Earl Grey hot? Because I don't remember seeing it up to this point.
Could be. I honestly don't know. I've been keeping track, but could be.
I think it is. And the first time I'm certainly seeing this alcove bit. And the first Earl Grey tea is actually an Earl Grey flower. So there you go. Fun little...
It's a Grey Earl flower.
Yes. And he's like, this is not... Yeah, like you said, this is not supposed to happen. I like the acting. It's fun. It's good.
Well, it's just the way he says it, too. It's like, that was not supposed to happen. It's like, well...
Yeah. but
it's just weird delivery, but works.
The science in him is like, huh. Okay. Interesting. I think he's in science mode, the Iconians, who's just like open to new things. And then you get them talking to Geordie in the engine room, and he's shouting for some reason, which I thought was kind of weird. He's like, Captain! Captain! I know you can hear me because everywhere around me has detectors that have my voice, but I'm going to yell at you! It's like, no, you can talk to the communicator. It's weird.
Yeah. Jarzia puts in $2 Canadian.
Hey.
Wes, that sounds like magic. Ardra, doesn't it? I love Ardra.
Yeah, it's weird to have a magic line, especially when you have Wesley be the smart one. But it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, the yelling's kind of too much. But Geordie's like, the good news is it's not a design flaw. It's actually the alien scan that is causing this.
And it's just made to hear
it's
pride
like
in his
computer
voice.
virus.
Like Geordie's like, nope, it's not my ship. Not my ship.
Yep. No, I did too.
Yeah.
So, we get a little bit of answer. They arrive at the planet. There's no life forms detected. All cities destroyed. They've been by a large-scale orbital bombardment, so the planet was attacked from orbit.
Yep.
Approximately 200,000 years ago, so quite a while ago.
Yeah, seriously.
But they'd locate an energy source in the mountains of one of the smaller continents, and then you see a probe get launched.
Well, you see the 1980s equivalent of low budget. We see a flash, and then it's on screen.
Yes, well, they prepare the tractor beam. They're going to capture the probe, and Geordie's like, "No, sir, wait!" and has to run. And he tries to go through the one door. For some reason in engineering, where later in the series that just goes to like a small room, so I don't know why the fuck he's going in there.
Well, that's the Jeffries tube room.
And it's going to take the Jeffries tube, I guess, straight to the bridge. I don't know, but anyway, he gets in the turbo lift and it starts whipping him around, which is pretty hilarious actually, and well filmed too because it goes upside, like he goes to the ceiling and stuff. But then for some reason, when he finally does get to the bridge, it spits him out. Like there's no movement of that turbo lift that would cause him to do that onto the bridge, because it would be coming only up for that final slot into the bridge. It wouldn't come forward at all. So he would, like, if anything, like go up in the air and land on the floor of the turbo lift and then crawl out onto the bridge.
So you are right. This scene though, I think of it more as, although first of all, massive curse to LeVar Burton. He can't see with that thing on. He is running around the set flawlessly, but he can't see.
Well, he can see. You can see through the slots. He can see, just not very well.
I mean, yes, but he can't do a lot of things with it. Like he has no peripheral vision. He can't see down. I mean, yes, he can sort of see, but imagine only being able to see like this, and then having to run through crowds, and it'd be difficult. But he's doing it flawlessly. I'm just trying to give him credit for that. But think of this, why is he getting thrown around? Well, there isn't that much ship for it to build that momentum. But think of also as the artificial gravity stopped working. So there's
Okay.
that's going haywire, so he's getting moved around, which explains why it's so violent, because otherwise it wouldn't make much sense. And so when he gets to the bridge, he goes up, then the door opens, the gravity plating of the bridge is then different, and therefore, the different gravity planes then bring him out, and then he rolls. One gravity to another.
I'd almost buy that. I'd almost buy that explanation.
That's literally what I got from it. Because you're right.
I just assumed the turbolift was moving that fast.
But you're right, it just goes
forth,
up, so he would go up. But if it opens and he's like up, then it'd be pulled in with the gravity, and yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a weird scene, but I think LeVar sells it. It's dumb, but he commits fully, and that's why it's, I think, good.
Yeah. But as soon as he gets spit on the bridge, he's like, "Destroy the probe quickly, sir!" And they destroy it. And again, we see more of Picard's humor, even in a situation like this where his ship's falling apart. He's like, "Welcome to the bridge, Mr. LaForge."
Love it.
Sounds like something I would do if I was in a good mood. If I was under pressure, though, I wouldn't be doing that. So you can't say that Picard's grumpy all the time. He's got a little bit of a sense of humor, even earlier with the whole "what's a captain like you doing in a place like this?"
Yep. I mean, they give some legit nice, cheeky, fun lines in this episode that they don't normally do, and it works, almost all of them. I actually really like the Geordie running in and trying to save them. It's quite... It's a weird thing to throw in, but I think it works. I like how not fussed Picard is. Geordie's sir, destroy it! He's like, alright, destroy it! Like, so chill, I love it.
The whole time he's thinking, why the hell did you just tell me that over the comms?
Geordie, yes, sir? What's this? Communicator. Use it next time. But, sir, the systems are disabled. Are the communicators disabled? No, sir. Yes, sir. Because it's true. I mean, they should be independent.
He didn't try that. You're right. He didn't try tapping it.
They should be independent.
Yeah.
Sorry, Geordie.
Well, anyway. So next scene, Geordie's like right into it. He's leaning on the table. He's doing his hand gestures like... the probe's in a computer program which is trying to overwrite our software in its own image. We downloaded the Yamato's files. That's how we got infected. It scanned the Yamato, so it affected all the systems on the ship simultaneously, whereas we downloaded it into a specific section of our mainframe, and it's having to work its way out from there. So, great explanation for why it's taking longer for them.
This is a very well thought out episode. It's methodical, it's thought through, it's nice, smart.
Yeah. And we find out here that Pulaski's not trusting the turbolifts at this point. So she's sending medical teams through the access tunnels of the ship to get where they need to go. And then we're in sick bay. She's complaining about the biobed's not working. The lights are fading. 35 emergency calls scattered across 12 decks. Her emergency teams are getting run ragged. And then the stupidest thing in the history of stupid things happens. Doctor, the knitter's not working, so the bone knitter, right? Well, try a splint. What's a splint? That's a time-honored way to practice medicine. 2 pieces of wood, 2 pieces of plastic, bandage, keep it from moving. But it's a time-honored way to practice medicine with your head, your heart, and your hands. So jump to it. Because the guy's like, that's not medicine. That's one of the first things they would teach you, not only as a doctor, but as a Starfleet officer. It's actually in the Starfleet officer's manual that I have in the other room. If you get injured on a planet, get a broken arm, it tells you how to make a splint out of things around you. It would be basic training for any Starfleet officer starting out. So I find it, I call bullshit on this. It's like, what's a headache? Ridiculous.
Well,
ridiculous.
It's like Data. Oh, what is perfume?
What's
well, Data. You know what everything is. You have the knowledge of all the descendants of the base you're in. They use perfume with it. It's funny. I like this scene because I like her acting in this scene. It's like, look, I'm older than you. I know what I'm doing. Shut up. Do this. Old school. It's very McCoy. I mean, she's channeling McCoy like, to a T. I agree. I kind of wish this guy looks young. Like ish 30s. If he was like a fresh ensign, like if he was like absolutely fresh faced baby,
or somebody not in a Starfleet uniform, somebody that was just helping out, like a family member or something that was just happened to be in sickbay because all of our medical team are doing other things.
It's like Kim from Caretaker, tricorder, medical tricorder. You know, it's like he doesn't actually know what he's doing. But I agree. But then again, you can imagine that. You obviously counted flawlessly with this in the manual. But at what point do you not teach the ultra basics when everything you have is like, why is the bridge on top of the ship? Because there are shields. Or, well, you know, why do you need to learn Splint if you have 74 devices that can heal a broken leg? I mean,
because you're going on away missions where you need to use what's around you to do the same thing.
But what you have around you is the items. It's like, I know what you're saying.
But you don't take... Yeah, it's just basics. It's standard...
Anyway. But obviously it isn't. But I agree. It
is. It's in my officer's manual. I can go get it right now.
I know. And that's why you win the scene. But the scene could have been better with one adjustment of who she's talking to. Or like a family member or something, like, or even a child. Like,
yeah, exactly. Fleet Pod Switchback puts in $1.99. School's in session with Dr. Kathleen Pulaski.
Catherine.
Yes.
Not Kathleen.
Catherine.
But I think she does well in this episode. Actually, I mean, she has this one scene, but I actually really like her acting in it.
And we get Geordi and Data in engineering, and he goes over the panel and gets zapped. And so Data like takes him and throws him. And the first time I missed it, so I had to go back. So there's two like repeated screen caps there. It's my fault. My apologies, because the look on Data's face after he throws him is hilarious. Because he throws him and he's like this, and then the next scene he's like, eee. He does this whole facial thing, and then he goes over to him, and Geordi's like, Data, what happened? Well, any answer would be mere speculation. This just shows how our actions can have random results. And Geordi's like, thanks, Data, I noticed. A totally funny, non-needed scene, and it was played for laughs. It was so good. His facial reactions, Geordi's response. It's like, where did this come from? I love it, but where did it come from? We need more of this in serious situations. I loved it.
It came from a writer that they saw by this point these two have a chemistry that you can't replicate easily, you know. And yeah, Brent's acting here is beyond the Data acting.
Yeah,
I don't buy Data would do this, and no. that in itself is the fun of it. But I mean, I'm wondering if like part of the wire work in this take, he might have actually been like, "Oh, that's really hard." Like,
maybe he actually heard him by accident or something.
I mean, he's not doing anything. It's a wire, but I imagine it might be like, "Oh, that's really hard," and then they're like, "Oh, that's a good take. We'll do the close up. Give us that again." It's like, "Oh," so I kind of feel like that maybe what's around it. I love that on the floor thing because it's like, get up. He doesn't want to get up. He's just like, oh, I hate my life right now. I'm not getting up. I love it. It's funny.
It was great. Next scene's in the ready room, and Riker's reporting life supports failed on deck 7 and 13. They decide that there may be records at the launch site that can maybe help them find a solution. So Riker's like, I'll arrange an away team, and Picard's like, I'll lead it. And Riker's like, huh? We've had this discussion 100 times, and we're going to have it again. I've been studying since I was a cadet about the Iconians, so I'm the best person to go down. The Enterprise is yours. And I thought the same thing that Riker said. For as long as it lasts, I'd be like, thanks for giving me the ship right now. Asshole. And Picard's like, I'd rather be on the planet because the ship's going to probably explode at some point, so I'm just going to take the away team. You know, I'll be down there. It's fine.
Well, hey, no, it's fine. They get to reverse roles in First Contact.
This is true.
Do you remember that time, Riker, when I went down? Yeah, I'm staying up here. That's a safer option. He's like, I'll fine, sir. No, I adored this moment. These two actors are so on point in this scene.
Yeah.
I love the nuance Riker's going. I mean, these again, they're great actors using each other's performances to try and like go further with them. I love the enthusiasm for the archaeology. I love him overriding Riker. I love Riker being like, I often go against what you say, feel better, better judgment, but this time I know I can't win, so I'm not even going to try. Alright. And there's, saying we've done it 100 times gives us this broader world of he wants to go away missions. I say no. You ain't no doing that, Captain. But this time, no, I love it. It's a really, really good little scene. It's fully character lines, And it's still exposition. Every scene has more exposition and more development and more ideas, and they still do it characterfully. They understand the show at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And very rare shot of the Enterprise D. We never get this. We rarely get this angle. It's like, ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
The lighting's wrong, but it's nice.
But they go to the transporter room and beam down. And so they're on the planet, and then we're back on the bridge. Romulan ship decloaks, and they're like, shields up. We can't. And anyway, this is where we get the famous fate, because the Romulan ship powers up its weapons and then powers them down after the Enterprise's shields go down. And Riker says, fate protects fools, little children, and ships named Enterprise. Such a great quote, and I never knew which episode it was from, but awesome.
Yeah, this whole sequence is it's fun. They're all in character. Riker gets some good stuff here.
Yeah.
And just a note, we get more O'Brien. He's in every episode so far, pretty much.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're going to use transporters all the time, and we're just going to hire one person to be the operator. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, we get Sub-Commander Terrace, whatever her name is. But another probe gets launched at the Romulan ship, and they're like, destroy the probe. So they do. Yay. Now, this is where we get a line about shields. With shields up, we can't beam the away team back with the Romulans sitting right out there, which is fine. I always thought that was a major design flaw for Federation ships. You would think that if you're going to beam somebody up, you can still have your shields up, but lower your shields in a specific spot facing the planet so that you can get a signal through, because chances are there's not going to be a ship that can get in there and fire at that spot in the time allotted. I hate that. Why can't you develop a transporter program that lowers the shields in a specific spot? You can leave the rest of the shields up.
So if you can fire phasers and torpedoes through shields, a constant energy beam which can blow asteroids up, but you can't beam a person.
Yeah.
Just match the harmonics. I mean, yeah, but it would take away one of the big limiting factors.
I know, but it's so annoying.
I think it's just not safe to that. Just like with the Klingon bird of prey firing a torpedo, it's not so much just the exit area; it's the fact that it destabilizes the entire system of the energies, the subspace distortion, all that stuff. So, trying to beam someone through, it's like if one part of the particle bounces back, it'll resonate and bounce everything back and kill the person. So I can imagine it's just so unsafe that you wouldn't want to. You couldn't risk it. Maybe any shield. It's like an echo chamber. Anything would destabilize it.
No, I disagree. Fix it. Lower shield facing. It's fine. Ian Warrender, though, sent us $5 via PayPal. And he says, don't stop believing. Should I sing that?
Yes.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling. Gonna stop singing now. Thank you, Ian. Let's go back to my notes. Yeah, I don't know why they're making such a big deal about, the Romulans are just out there. We got to be careful. It's like they're obviously having issues too, so don't freak out so bad, guys. I thought it was a little uncalled for, the freak out. She's got problems with her transmission. Their cloaks kind of going in and out. So I don't know why it's like, we can't lower our shields. The Romulans are just right out there. They're going to attack us. I don't know. It just felt forced to me.
I mean, they're so. Romulans might take any advantage they have, and one well-placed phaser blast, destructive blast could rip through and kill the bridge.
What destroying Galaxy class ship? What would that accomplish?
Well, they get the Iconian Gateway.
They don't know about it yet. They don't know anything about what's on the planet.
No. They got the logs. They looked through the logs. They know about the Iconians. If they have Iconian history, they know about what they might be able to. So I would assume they know quite a lot.
So why wouldn't they attempt to beam down or something? Well, it just seems like they're kind of clueless as to what the hell is going on.
Why wouldn't the Enterprise descend a shuttle down either? My guess with that, when that becomes a problem, is that anything that appears in orbit over the planet, the probe system would detect as a new ship.
Probe would scan. Yeah.
And you can't guarantee another phaser blast. And atmosphere is too toxic, but they never go. I mean, there's so much in this episode already that they don't do some of the strategies potential here. But at least the tension of this first bit where they decloak and it's just like targeted weapons, no shields, like it gets you, like it goes from 1 to 1,000, let alone 100. I was like, we're fine. And it's certainly intriguing.
It just bugs me in this episode. Sci-Fi Nation though puts in $2. Thank you very much, Justin. I guess Justin. Oh, I forget his name. Anyway,
Trudeau?
No.
Oh.
$2 so the captain doesn't sing again. LOL, just kidding, Stuart. Why, thank you, sir. Jason, that's his name. That's Sci-Fi Nation. Sorry, Jason. My apologies. Didn't mean to call you Justin.
Yes. Thank you for the super chats. We need them lots and lots. Yeah, I do like that. And it still makes me laugh and Andrew laugh that the disruptive beam is coming from the lighting, the internal lighting grid. It's dumb. I mean, it's glowing, but it's like
better than from the deflector, I guess.
It is, but it's like there are literally weapon emitters all around. Use one of them, please. And obviously, you ask, why don't they just shoot the Enterprise then? If they've got a weapon emitter. It's like you say, what have they got to gain? But I mean, if you took over Enterprise D Galaxy class, took it back to Romulus, imagine the information you could learn on the Federation fleet. I mean, surely it's invaluable, all the new torpedoes, weapons, holodecks. But the stalemate is pretty tangible here. Oh yeah, what do you think of the Iconian map painting? The epic fleet, the epic race that almost took over the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit underwhelming, eh?
It's 200,000 years old.
Yeah.
And it's damaged, so I'll give it a little bit of leeway. Maybe it's buried under a lot of stuff. Maybe that tower is like 50 feet tall. That's just the top of it.
I like that.
Who knows?
Because it did feel a bit weird, and I'm glad they approach it later, where they say there's no life on the planet, but there's a completely working base, with a completely working gateway, with completely working power. Yeah. And 200,000 years later, but they do explain that the Iconians left. So I appreciate that plot hole's done straight away.
So here's they're looking around and they're looking at the language on the panel, and we find it's got commonalities with 3 other languages. So he orders Data to basically run a cross-reference with the other languages to see if they can find some commonality and maybe find out what this says. So he starts doing his thing. That's about it for that scene. I get a shot of the bird of prey and the Enterprise in orbit.
The bird of prey?
I mean the warbird, sorry, you know what I mean. Don't be an asshole.
But I like the Iconian, I'm zooming through a little bit. I like the Iconian set, I think it's quite nice. I like the fact the energy ball is just the same as the probe. That's quite a nice little touch, with the lightning being like, with a sticker, sticking paper rather than whatever. I love the fact that
looks good though. Looks really good.
It does. I love that they're deconstructing the language. Like again, Picard is on form when it comes to, I mean, it's nice. This is the perfect away team. Should have seen more in season 1. You got the tactical officer, the security, great. Walking computer bank, this, and the archaeologist. It's like Tashi Usher on every single away mission, and even though Worf has very little to do, he does enough. His presence is felt.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get more scenes here soon. But Eugene is here. He throws in 2,000 rubles. Thank you very much. That Iconian computer core has a very familiar pattern on it, but I don't remember where I've seen it. Feels like Ferengi orb ship controls. That's exactly what it is. I think they're exactly the same, to be honest.
Feels kind of big though for that.
No, well, they had it set into like a table though, so all you saw was like the top.
Yeah. I mean, everything's a redress in some respect, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. We're back aboard the Enterprise, and Troy's like, "Well, tension on the ship is high, and no shit. Maybe we should give everyone something to do. Well, let's consider an evacuation to the planet. Well, why not? Well, we can't beam with shields. I know, but you know, we might have to at some point if the ship decides to self-destruct. All right, cool. You go organize it." And she's like, but I didn't mean for me to what? What if you need me here to deal with her? Romulans. He was like, "I think I'll be fine. Get the hell off my bridge."
Yeah. It's funny. When the scene started, I was thinking, really, Troy, you're sensing the emotions of the Romulan ship that far away, really. But I mean, this is kind of their chemistry's quite good here. He's being commanding, she's being thoughtful. But yeah, it's like, think about the children, because the other captain didn't, and they all got killed. So let's think about the children, because you know, the other ones died. My nephew's on that ship, Deanna. Please help the children.
So Eugene says he's checked some things on screenshots on Google, and it's not exactly the Ferengi thing. So I don't know. I thought it looked pretty similar as well. But so back on the planet, Data's come to the conclusion that, well, he's completed his analysis. The interpretations of the symbols will not be exact, but I used a lot of common root words like mother, father, whatever.
Lots of examples, Stuart.
Yes, too many. So Picard cuts them off. And then they're looking for the manual override. And Data hits a button, the thing fires up, shoots the electricity, and opens up a gateway. And he's like, that was not the manual override. It's like, all right.
Again, little bits of fun comedy.
Yep. Very small, very minor, very appropriate for the situation, which we don't see often, unfortunately.
Also shows Data's growing as a person, and that he's not infallible, because they're using him as a repository of everything. But he made a mistake, and lucky mistake that opens the Iconian gateway, the way of transporting possibly anywhere in the galaxy. Cool. And Picard's loving it. It's like a dream come true.
Well, as soon as he sees the gateway with what's beyond, he's like, demons of air and darkness indeed. And then Worf says, well, perhaps it's a hologram and not a gateway. So Data goes up and sticks his hand through, and Picard's like, what are you doing? Well, I could step through and investigate. Yeah, but we might not be able to get you back, so no. And then Picard says, if the Romulans had found this, and again, they're making the Romulans sound all evil, which they are, I guess, but they could use it to invade countless worlds. And they talk about conquest and stuff, and I think Data states this is not a military command center. This is more like a transporter room of sorts. You can tell that it's not designed for invasion. And then perhaps that was not its intentions. But then Worf says the Iconians were conquerors. And Picard's like, well, you know what? That information was passed down from people that destroyed this world. And history is often written by the victors, and inevitably turns things to their advantage to make themselves look better. So I love that take on it.
It's a very, in the grand scheme of this episode, it was unneeded. It didn't add anything to the episode, but it fundamentally changes the entire mythos and deepens it. And it's like, wow, another reveal, another twist, another bit of is great. I love it. And I love that it's the transport room. They have many. It's just a place they go to other places, And even just the risk factor, which is kind of like the Superman approach from Batman Dawn of Justice, Batman vs Superman, how crap that was. But it's Batman's entire plot line is, if there's even a 1% chance he's going to go evil, I must kill him. And they're like, if there's even a 1% chance the Iconians will use it for evil, we must destroy the entire race. And they're like fuzzy fuzzy little Ewok creatures going, hello, hello, can we break your fruit? Hello, we're the Iconians. Just like, let's murder them all. Become nice people. You don't know.
But we see the Enterprise D bridge as one of the gateways.
Mm-hmm.
And then it quickly changes to Toronto City Hall.
Toronto City Hall?
They could have gone to Toronto. Yeah, there's the City Hall. It's right after the Enterprise. Sci-Fi Nation puts in $2 again. Thank you very much. A set or prop redress is likely because of a low budget. Yes, they always try to cut corners that way.
These aren't low budget shows. Their budget's just so spread. I mean, it's a high budget show, very high budget show. It's just spread out to do a lot. But
if you can save money using a prop you already used and make it look a little different. I mean, TOS did it all the time. Nomad was also the cloaking device, and a little bit. Yeah. Well, they never expected things to be watched in syndication and replayed multiple times. It's like they'll never notice. It's fine.
It was a little bit embarrassing though. That one in particular is a little bit embarrassing.
A little bit. But yeah.
Anyway, anything I have to say on this?
What do you think of Toronto City Hall?
Beautiful.
It's so full of shit. All right.
I love Dave's approaches of going on, putting his hand through the gateway, because he's always like he's scanned it with his eye sensors, like he knows it's fine. They're like, I was like, no, stop it! What are you doing? No, I love it. I love the science approach. I love the trepidation. Picard's having a blast.
Yeah, he was doing that to prove Worf wrong, saying it's not a hologram.
Yeah. I mean, it can still be a hologram. I mean, it doesn't really prove anything too much.
Could you imagine being in that space though, where that gate was open to, and also you see this arm reach through, and then come back out? It's like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty deserted, that spot, but you know.
What do you think of the Iconian Gateway, the actual effect?
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
I always like the shimmering edge.
Yeah, it's like a beveled mirror.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
It's really simplistic, but it's nice. And then is it the how do we blow? Oh, then Data's trying to work out stuff, and he gets virused himself. Oh no.
Yeah, he's talking about the large underground power system, and then he gets zapped. And are you okay? No, I am damaged. Not really in a robot voice like that, but yeah.
And Sci-Fi Nation clarifies it's low budget as to move funds from this episode to other episodes. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Zach, Stargate needs 2 gates. Icon Tech needs only 1 gate. Well, it's a door. It's not so much a gate, it's just a door to another place. And we have 124 people watching. We have 85 likes. So that's brilliant. Please do like, subscribe, comment, Patreon, and Super Chat.
All the above.
Yes.
But here the Iconian thing that Zap Data is trying to rewrite his programs, his systems. Symptoms include blindness and motor control.
Thank God not stuttering.
Well, yeah. We'll get to that in a minute.
That would have killed them all. I have no doubt.
Yeah. Then the Enterprise shows up again on the portal, and the interval is about 4 minutes. And he's asking, Picard's asking Worf, what's the interval? About 4 minutes. And later asks, how long now? About 3 minutes. I don't know. Is Worf great at calculating time? I would trust Data 100% with 3 minutes. But, I mean, a security officer, maybe they have to be observant to that kind of thing. Routines for patrols. Yeah. If you're breaking into a jail, you got to how long the guards do their thing. I don't know.
There's also, once you say about, that concerns me about exactly how much.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a gate and a door? I mean, it's just a clarification, really. A door is just like I guess a door is simpler. It's just a frame. A gate you can imagine is more tech, because a gate you need, like I said, 2 gates to connect. Be the tech. The Iconian Gateway is being generated. It's a door of energy, so it's generated by something else inside something else, rather than Stargate, which is a device that's generating anything inside of itself. It's less advanced.
Well, just compare it to a door in a house and a gate to a backyard. They're basically the same thing, but the gate outside is usually larger, a little bit more elaborate. Mm-hmm. Just that's the simplest version.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sure. So Picard orders Worf that next time the Enterprise shows up to go through that with Data. But we haven't determined it's a gateway yet. Well, that will be the test. It's like, thanks, asshole.
Well, he's the captain. He's allowed to be an asshole. You should know that.
Oh, harsh. Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $1.99. Where is this Toronto you speak of, Captain? LOL, just kidding. Hour and a half from my house. That's where. Fat Produce puts in $5.
Thank you.
In hindsight, I feel like the Iconians are a bit overused in Trek lore. Cough. Star Trek Online. Cough. They're pretty much the forerunners of Trek lore.
Well, they were
like the preservers too. You know.
Well, they were underused in Star Trek until Star Trek Online, and then I personally don't like the Iconians in Star Trek Online. They're very thin, crystalline looking creatures that's not at all how I envision them, and I would never have designed that way. And their tech is radically different, and don't really buy them personally. Yeah. They want to make an epic villain, and they did, rather than an Iconian. My opinion.
So Picard is going to stay behind and detonate the power source, and then through his little conversation, half-assed with Data, finds out he should use the probes, launch the probes, but make sure that the probe launch doors remain closed. That'll destroy the facility. So you got to override the automatic opening door launch. So to launch the probes is blue, amber, amber, red, which is the launch sequence. And then to override the doors is blue, blue, blue. To which Picard says another funny, comical, almost kind of line. Yep. I hope that isn't a stutter, Mr. Data. I love it.
He says it like a stutter, so it makes sense. It is, and you generally have a little bit of concern as an audience thinking, "Oh, is that not going to go right?" Which is nice. It's another tiny touch. Plus, also commanded to destroy the tricorder because you can't let any readings of this place get out, and not just destroy, disintegrate. Again, nice small touch.
Yeah. Judge 1981 though throws in $5 with a laughing pear sticker. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
And then, but sir, you'll likely be destroyed. Don't worry, I'll get through the gate to somewhere. Trust me, anywhere will be preferable than this place soon enough.
Smart ass. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, he could be like across the galaxy, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd have fun figuring things out.
Well, he could go to Ryza and be given the sex statue thing. Whatever it's called.
Horgon.
There you go. Yeah, he can be a whore. Gone. I love Worf's deadlift of Data. Like, he does feel... Considering how heavy... I mean, Data's meant to be very, very heavy. But I like how, like, you get the sense he's gone...
See... You say that, but I thought the same thing at the scene where he stands him up to get him to the console. It was very effortless. And you got to think, how much does Data weigh? Well, you'd think he'd weigh probably twice as much as a person his size should weigh. Would be fair to say. Not too much heavier, to be honest. Like, I wondered the same thing, but then you got to take into account a bunch of different things as far as how much weight can a Starfleet shuttle take and all this, you know. Well, so you can take 8 people, but only 6 with Data on board, like, you know, stupid shit like that.
But obviously, Worf is not strong as Data. That's confirmed. But Worf is still, I mean, should be twice the strength of a human. But I like the effortlessness that he does that and he gets him through. And again, Brent's little deactivated acting is, you know, he doesn't just go limp. He goes a certain sort of,
yeah. Well, Tangerine Star 26 sent us $6.20 on PayPal.
Very kind.
It says, please don't use my real name on air, which I didn't. Keep up the great work. Detailed and measured analysis, discussion, reviews, and plenty of fun. Trekyards is my first port of call for all things Trek. Well, thank you very much, Tangerine Star. Appreciate that.
That is amazing. Thank you. We do try and we make it for people like you. So thank you so much. Brilliant. Thank you. We hope you keep enjoying. So they go through the gate. And I really love once they go. I mean, they've used this trope so many times. The little bit of going through effect. It's like how the Sarajevo, whatever, the Reliant class that bashes into the Enterprise a billion times does that sort of effect. Although as a 3D graphics artist, I hate the idea of this effect because it's a 2D effect on a 2D object, but it's 3D going around somebody and it's seamless and I love it. It's, oh god, it's so difficult. It's hand animated, beautiful.
We got another PayPal, $5 from Lizzie Smith,
Hey.
who says, trying this PayPal thing. Sorry I haven't been super chatting so much. Bit poor at the moment. Still enjoy your videos, guys. Keep it up. Well, thank you very much, Lizzie. Much appreciated.
That is okay.
And don't worry, if you can't afford it, that's fine. But
I mean, fundamentally, the videos are free for everyone to enjoy. It's like, if you can super chat, do. If you can't, enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
And did you notice? I just noticed myself that these panels actually did rip. Like, they've now made all the panels on the tactical console up, and there's like a dust effect, and that's kind of cool. They had to take off the plexi and stand it up, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I love those access panels at the side of the bridge. I think they're a very cool idea.
Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, Worf. So straight to engineering. Okay. Let's just trust the turbolifts that always kill Geordie and presumably aren't working very well. Trust them, because we've not got enough story time to have a problem. It's fine. It's fine.
Hopefully the captain will follow, he says. Thanks. Anyway, yeah, they take him down to engineering, and Data essentially dies. He flatlines. You hear the tricorder, and then he.
And I thought that was a very odd choice, personally. What does that even mean? His power core went off. His matrix deactivated. Like, it doesn't.
I'd say the power core went off because. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. When you think about it, it's like. But no, factory reset, or at least deleted.
Well.
Oh, no, yeah. Sorry.
Self-correcting mechanism. You
mean you turned it off and on again?
Yeah. Well, that's a fancy way. That's the easy way of saying it. The fancy way is shut down and total wipe of all affected memory, and then restart.
And on again.
Turn it off and on again. Really? That's my note. Turn it off and on again. Really? That's the answer.
Yeah.
But I love Data. Like, how did I get here? I'm in engineering. What happened?
Yep. Yeah, I love his acting there.
Yeah.
It's very Brent, but he adds something very unique to it. Like, he's like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I've memory loss. Ooh, this is new.
Yeah.
I like it. It's an experience. And at the end,
he's got like, the stupid smirk on his face. Yeah.
At the end, he's like, I mean, can I help? I want to help. No? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk away now. No, it's fun. And it is the simplest solution possible. Like, the simplest, but it's very logical, and it works, because I think I just connected it in my brain. You would think that if this program was actually designed to destroy the Enterprise, that it would not want itself to, it would not let itself be deleted. Well, think of the bloody virus in Discovery. It's smart enough to know not to let itself be deleted. But the thing isn't a virus, it's just a, hello, nice to meet you. You know what I mean? It's not intentionally doing anything wrong, so why would it have a self-preservation if it's not trying to do anything negative? It's just trying to talk to them. We just can't understand them because it's too less advanced.
Yeah. But yeah, then they you see the lights power off and power on in the Enterprise again, so they must have turned everything off and on. And then back down on the planet.
Although weirdly, most of the windows don't turn on. Like, none of the saucer turns back on, pretty much, which is kind of weird. It's a very lackluster on and off again, I'll be honest. But whatever.
Nah. Back on the planet, Picard's launched the launch sequence and closed the doors, so things are exploding. He's waiting for the portal, and can't wait anymore. Steps through conveniently, right as it's the Romulan ship. So, be funny if it was a different Romulan ship, but okay.
That'd be funny.
So the Romulans see him and run over to him, and I love how Brian's just about ready to beam him back too.
Yep.
We got a lock on him. We're gonna beam him up. All of a sudden, shit! The transporter lock's gone. What? What's over there? What?
It's
that almost never happens. They usually don't have a lock on or whatever.
Yeah.
This time they did, and they're about to beam him. If you would have waited a second.
Yep. It's just timing.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
But I love how the computer quickly reacquires the signal. Like, what? I didn't know to look there. It was really quick too. But anyway.
Yeah, I didn't quite buy that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Super Coops puts in £5. First super chat for a while.
Oh.
Unexpected bills, etc. Anyway, hope you guys are well. Turn it off and on again. Typical IT support. LOL.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Yeah, welcome. Good to see you back. I do think though, whereas the ending doesn't feel rushed as often ones, the solution is incredibly rushed. It just works. It literally is done and dusted. We're finding it within about 20 seconds. It's so abrupt, but it gives us more time for the ending. So I'm kind of like, well, okay. And first time we see the Romulan disruptors, Stuart. Huzzah, huzzah.
Yeah, they're very cool. And they're saying, yeah, it tracks his comm badge. Yeah, I know it tracks his comm badge, Martin, but still, it's locked on the planet. All of a sudden, it just disappears. It winks out, essentially. So, what does it just do? A broadband scan of like within 40,000 kilometers of the ship all of a sudden? That would make sense, actually, now that I've said it. But still, it was rather quick to locate him on the Romulan vessel, in my opinion.
It reminds me that they said very early on that Geordi estimates about 90% of the ship is automated. That's a lot. Like, that's a real masterclass in... And yet, you still need 1,000 people for the ship to be operational. Because its purpose is, future endeavors, which aren't automated. That's an interesting, metric for the future. But anyway, he's on the Romulan ship, and they're basically like... Why have you done this? Nah. Well, screw you. You're going to die with us. No, I won't.
Not, I think, today, as he says.
I still don't like that you can talk while beaming. I don't like that. I know why you can, but I don't like it as much.
I don't have much of an issue with it in this era.
But I love her face. She's like, well, that was a small victory I've lost. Fun times. Guess I'll die now. But it's very dignified. I love it.
Ooh.
It's a nuanced performance she gives. For what limited time she's given, I like it.
Yeah. Leo Plaridon asks, how does an antimatter containment work during a complete system shutdown, even for a second, and not blow up the ship?
Woo, yeah.
I would assume that the force fields can stay active, because there's not really a system per se. I mean, that's a good question. That's a good question. I would need to ask Rick that. Rick would have an answer for us.
My assumption is that obviously this isn't happening in a vacuum of right now. My assumption is that part of this protocol would be to bring the matter and antimatter back in their pods, or dump the excess. You deactivate the warp core. Would be my solution, because you can't have that reaction going on. I mean,
have them in the magnetic constriction bottles, because
they I'm assuming they've got a passive magnetic field that keeps it all contained. Otherwise, the ship would blow up at any given deactivation of power, which is not sustainable. That is the most important system to have redundancy for, because yes, if the ship runs out of oxygen, you can always get in a shuttle. You have EVA suits. You know what I mean? Oxygen remains after a while, but if the ship's antimatter thing goes off, it'll explode within a few seconds. So I mean, that is the most important system on the ship.
And how many times we see a ship drift dead in space, no power, nothing.
Yep.
It hasn't blown up, so there's got to be some kind of
emergency automatic shutdown, dumping. They say it should just dump the stuff, because all they have to do is dump one of the two pieces, matter or antimatter. I'm assuming antimatter, because
they said antimatter. Yeah,
it'll interact with any matter. Although, would that be a cool effect to see in an episode? Like, it's flowing and then you see a vent open and antimatter comes out. Wouldn't it then explode with the space?
You would think so, yeah.
And that'd be a really cool thing.
But there's nothing in space. Space is lack of everything. That's why.
But it's still
I guess it wouldn't
matter, though. There's still dust particles.
There is, but it's still lack of anything. That's what makes it space. So, yeah, maybe some little from dust or something, but not every section of space would have dust as well. I mean, it's
It's fun though. It's a great question.
Dreamer out there puts $5.
Welcome back. I've seen you in a while.
I always love the Romulan uniforms. They put a lot of love into them, lots of detail, the belts and shoulder bits, just the tailoring in general. Yes, very authoritative and lots of angles, and just it looks so stern. I agree. I like their uniforms.
I just think the shoulder pads was a ginormous mistake. It ages it horribly. If it was form-fitting, it would look 1,000 times better. I know it wouldn't be as opposing, but the Enterprise ones look so much smarter. These look a little bit comical. Like, they're not clearly not functional. They're clearly designed by a costume designer to give a look. You know what I mean? They're not actual uniforms. They're sci-fi uniforms. I agree the badge stuff's beautiful, but yeah, the shoulder pads was just an 80s thing that shouldn't have carried over. I mean, the men look ridiculous.
So they beam Picard over, and they hail the Romulan ship.
Well, no, first of all, they're like, right, let's get out of here. They might blow up. Like, Picard's like, oh, they're gonna blow up. Let's go. Very quick to that.
Well, don't you jump ahead of a ship and say, here's what you have to do. And then it's like, yeah, let's go to warp just in case their engineer's not as efficient as Mr. LaForge. And yeah, kind of more of a comical ending a little bit. But before they leave the scene, Picard says, so now I know why you like the away team. That's where the excitement is. What's been happening up here? Same old routine, I suppose. And then he gives O'Brien a little bit of a look and then looks over his shoulder back at Picard, and then the ships warp away. With explosions on the planet. You can see the explosions in the distance on the planet.
Yeah, it's a fun ending for sure. I appreciate Riker's sense of duty. It's like, if they don't have to die, it serves no one, you know. It's like in the Orville when they let the Krill go back to the homeworld. It's like, we're going to take you back, even if even if bad things happened. But yeah, Picard is oddly positive, but considering he just found one of his heroes, the homeworld of one of his hero races. That's awesome. You can imagine he's giddy with excitement. And yeah, the warpway is fun, although I find the explosions on the planet laughable. They're ridiculous. They look stupid, and it was never resolved as to what damage the Iconian planet was given, because you would only like a giant power source. It doesn't say in the planet's core. It just says a big power source. So yeah, it might destroy a few city blocks, but there's probably dozens of these outposts on the state. There's not just one. So you get no sense this disables the Iconian network. I kind of wish it was like the planet got blowed up, and that's what the tech isn't. Because I can imagine the Romans would go straight back to the planet and be like, "Wow, we found 30 more Iconian gateways." It's weirdly ambiguous that the little explosions just look daft, considering how much stuff there'd be there. Is at least my takeaway. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, he did say that the power core was located directly beneath the room, so I don't think it's necessarily something that's down deep.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's underwhelming. It's ripe for a second episode, and we just don't get it. I know we obviously get the DS9 one, but that's just a plot device rather than anything about the mythos. Wouldn't it have been kind of cool if these were the Vaudois somehow? Like, this is one of their bases. They use the conduits to get here. Or if there'd been Iconians and or proto-Iconians, the things you could have done with that, because it's similar mythoses in a sense. Although, do you think when Picard says quite early on that they didn't need to use spaceships, they travelled they just appeared? Do you think they're saying Iconians didn't have space travel, or they didn't need to use space travel?
I think they didn't need to use it at that point. You think you would develop space travel before this kind of thing? But at the same time, maybe they went on a different path, found this first, and decided not to waste the resources doing ship travel. So
I mean,
it could be either one.
Why invest in 3 weeks of travel when you can be instant? I mean, it's like, why invest in a car when you have a train? If the train system was perfect, it's like, or a bus. It's like, well, why would you invest if you can do this way? Why invite a bicycle when you have a car if cars were pedalable? I don't know, bad analogies, but yeah. And so ends Iconian episode pretty sort of abruptly, but at least it's happened.
I don't buy that each ship just decided to, we're gonna leave now.
Yeah.
And the Federation personally, but whatever.
But he does save the ship, so there should be some credit for that. Or I do allow it to be saved.
Yes.
And Eugene says, sport travel vibes, to which Jeff says, shh.
Yeah, I can just picture Jeff with his hand over Eugene's mouth. Shh, it's okay, shh.
We're getting a new Picard. Don't talk about Discovery. Discovery's it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So yes, Stuart, there you go. What are your thoughts on Contagion, the poorly named episode? And like I said, is it better than when your first watch? Well, did this one stand out to you I think I asked at the start, but I can't remember. Did it stand out to you at the time, or is this viewing kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's always been a good one. I just didn't know this was the title of it.
Okay.
So when you say Contagion last time, what's that one? Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So I really love this one. I think it's fantastic. It's one of the better ones of Star Trek TNG, in my opinion, like the whole series. It's definitely rewatchable. Again, I like the little comedic aspects sprinkled throughout it. I wish more of them had that. I mean, there's a few episodes that do, but it's usually more of a fun episode as opposed to serious. This is a good mix of both.
This was like it was a director that was experimental, and then they all paid off, but it wasn't status quo enough. They didn't trust that enough.
Yeah. Because then you get the criticisms of your show doesn't know what it wants to be. Does it want to be funny or does it want to be serious? Because we heard that with the Orville as well for the first little while. Like, is what kind of vibe are you going for with this show, right? So you kind of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But I really enjoyed it personally. A lot of great character moments, great script writing, great Star Trek, great sci-fi. Get to see the Romulans. We get to see a Galaxy-class ship explode. So great effects. A lot of stuff you don't necessarily see on a regular basis.
Yes.
So that was great.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of great aspects to this episode. So overall, great episode.
Yes. Does it fit into the category of uniquely Star Trek, or is it because it's been other franchises? Like, why is it uniquely Star Trek?
Just the idea of ancient civilization that seeded some other planets. I like that, and also the Romulan neutral zone, the Romulans being involved.
That's true.
There's just a lot of aspects to it that feel Star Trek to me. That being said, it could be put in Stargate. It could be put in another sci-fi franchise as well. But
I think the characters what make it Star Trek. Their interaction to it is so genuine, and I love how you said the Romulan neutral zone. I mean, this is one of those things where I always argue that it wasn't fan service to include Romulans, right? But you could argue, oh, people love Romulans, it must be fan service. No. It's we're gonna make a story about a thing in a place. Oh, let's put in the neutral zone. That makes a threat. Oh, great, we get to use Romulans. It's not fan service. It's using the universe. You know what I mean? I hate that it's just fan service. Well, it can't be. That's what people say that nowadays. It's like it's not. It's just they said, well, why invent a new race? Let's just use the Romulans. We've got all the stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Right. So your scores then for season 2, to which we're 11 in now. So I feel like we've got a good grasp on the season. And overall,
season 2 is going to get a 9 out of 10 for me. This is a fantastic piece of season 2.
Damn, son.
And as for all of are you writing these down?
I am. I've got.
Okay. And as for all of TNG, I'll probably give this one a solid 8. It is up there as far as I'm concerned.
I will ask probably one of the last times for season 1. What do you give it for season 1?
Oh my good God! A 12. Because it's friggin' great compared to season 1.